Hey YouTube, it's Case Iverson. Today I'm coming to do a quick little video on something I was requested to do a while ago, and that is my thoughts on attending college, my advice for those who are thinking of attending college, as well as telling you guys about my experience with college and my plans on things I'm doing after college. So first and foremost, as you guys know, I recently graduated from college. I went to a four-year university, which was actually Cal State Dominguez Hills, which was it's right here in California. It is a Cal State school, and I attended there for 4 years straight. I went there right after high school, and I recently graduated with my bachelor's degree in business, with my concentration being in human resources. So I guess to give you guys a little bit of background in regards to me throughout school, so you could get a better gist of me. Throughout school, I was actually a really good student. I always got really good grades, but even despite me always having good grades and me being really driven to get good grades and do well in school, I never was really one of those people who wanted to go to college. I actually planned on in high school, I actually planned on just going to a community college and then transferring and going to a university. I never thought about going to a university straight out of high school. It was actually one of my friends, Raven, who actually inspired me to, or actually pushed me, not more so inspired me, but pushed me to actually apply for a four-year university. And I did, and I was actually accepted to all the schools I apply for, but I ended up choosing Dominguez just because it was more so local and it was something I was familiar with. Plus, because the main school I wanted to go to, which was Cal State Long Beach, I was accepted there, but I was only accepted there for their spring semester and not their fall term because their school is so highly impacted. In high school, my initial thoughts, I always wanted to be in the fashion industry. Throughout high school, I actually took fashion merchandising classes. My main focus was to go into the fashion merchandising part of fashion or the industry. But as time went on, I realized, yeah, I really love fashion. I love all that type of stuff that comes with that, but it's not really something I wanted to work in, if that makes sense. So I got to college and I just decided to do business just because it was a broad field. So in regards to my experience with college, I actually had a pretty good experience with college. Like I said, I did not initially want to go to college. I actually really despise school. I really hate school. I hate having to do homework. I hate having to read. Like, I hate school. I don't hate that I learn stuff because that's always a good thing, but I just hate having to do stuff that I don't want to do, if that makes sense, and that's what school is. But college is definitely different from high school, way different. Well, in different ways, it's different from high school. In college, there are definitely still some high school aspects in regards to there's some friendship cliques, things like that. But in regards to you being on your own and not having a teacher basically pull your hand and guide you through everything step by step, that is a big difference with college and high school. Let me just start off with dorming. I did stay at the dorm for I think 2 years, my first 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. I did live in a dorm, and I had okay experiences. My first experience was amazing. I absolutely loved my roommates, really good friends. They're so crazy, and it was just a really fun time. But my other roommates after them, we were cool. I liked them. We all get along and everything like that, but it wasn't like my first experience when I first moved into the dorm. My roommates, like, I love them. I definitely love my roommates though, don't get me wrong, but I've had some crazy roommates, which is one downfall when it comes to the dorming. If you're like me and am an introvert and not very sociable, then dorming will be something that you need to get used to and something very different for you. I'm very quiet. I like to keep to myself. I don't really like to hang around too many people or do a lot of things. So that was something that was a new experience for me with the dorm, was that I was meeting new people. I was sometimes forced to talk to people and just become out of my element. So that's a positive of the dorming, but a negative is if you're someone who likes to be to themselves and not really sociable, then the dorming isn't really that good of an option because you're going to meet strangers. The good thing about dorming is that if you know someone, you can always request them and hopefully you get matched with them. But I went in there Even though I knew people who attended my school, I went in there with an open mind. I just wanted to get out of my element of always being to myself, and meet new people. So dorming, it was okay. It's something you do have to get used to. I would recommend, for tips for those who do live in a dorm, to invest in a permanent marker, because you're going to need it, because people will definitely use your stuff. No matter how many times you say don't use my stuff, they're still going to manage to use it. Be firm. Do not let people walk over you, and to be open and learn how to communicate. If you're having an issue with your roommates, if there's something that you don't like, be vocal about it, but do not be aggressive about it. Be vocal and keep that line of communication open between everyone, so you guys can just have your living condition be as best as possible. But definitely, you're going to need that permanent marker. Dorming, it was fun and it was a great experience. You learn a lot about people. Definitely learn a lot about people, and learn that you are not the same like everyone else. Like, everyone is so unique, and dormant is an experience. And do I think it is necessary? Not really. To be honest, the only reason I lived in a dorm was because my parents, or my family, they all moved up north. So I moved back down to Southern California. So basically I had to go to the dorm because I didn't have nowhere to live. So yeah, dorming is not necessary. I know people are like, oh, it's the college experience, but save that money, because it is very, very expensive. I would not have taken out so many loans if I did not stay in the dorm for those first 2 years. Now, in regards to any advice I have for those who are entering college and all that good stuff, I will definitely say to be prepared, be open to meeting new people and new experiences. Be open to working in groups and having some time to do all the work. Definitely be someone who is not afraid to ask questions. Asking questions is really, really big in college, because a lot of times the professors and people just expect you just to know things. So if you do not ask questions to things that you do not understand, whether it being a question for class or a question in regards to a requirement for completing something, or any information you ever need, definitely do not be afraid to ask for assistance and ask questions. Definitely invest in a planner. It is very vital, because you'll be juggling a lot of things at once, especially if you're taking multiple classes. I know me, for the first 2 years, I only was taking 4 classes, which is the minimum amount of requirements, or the minimum amount to be considered full-time, which was 12 units. But as I got closer to graduating and wanted to get out, I started taking 5, 6 classes, and just really, really overloaded myself. So definitely investing in a planner and knowing how to break up your time, and knowing how to break up your time to manage and get everything done is very, very important. Especially if you're like me, and or was like me, and like a bunch of other college students who have to work and go to school. It is very important to schedule and get a planner and just put things down in writing, what you need to do, so you can actually remember to do it. Another thing I would say is to keep in contact with your counselor. I know some students who I went to school with, and they have no idea who their counselor are. They have no idea where their counselor's room is or anything like that. So it's very important for you to be in connection with your counselor or your advisor, so you can make sure that you're completing all your courses and doing everything you need to do, so you can get out of there in a timely manner. I will also say, be careful when it comes to budgeting. We're all college students, we're all struggling, and we all need money. So budgeting is very, 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 very important. If someone who's getting financial aid and do take out the loans, be very cautious in regards to how much you take out. When I went into school, like I said, if I didn't have to live in the dorms, I would not have had as much debt as I do now upon graduating, because my school is actually very, very affordable. But seeing that I did have to live in the dorms, I did have to take out more loans than I needed. So being wary or being cautious as to your spending and what you're borrowing is very, very important, because once you get out of school, you have to pay all that money back. So even though everyone always say, I'm gonna use my financial aid for this, for that, guys, really only take out as much as you need. Do not over borrow, if that makes sense, because it will come back and you'll have to pay it all back plus interest. So definitely being cautious with budgeting. What I like to do was, I actually always took money when I got my pictures. I always set money aside no matter how much I made. I always set money aside in my savings account just so I could always have emergency money. But definitely budgeting in regards to groceries, making a groceries list, necessities over wants, not eating out as much, which is something we definitely do a lot of in college because sometimes you just don't have time to cook. So eating out is very, it goes hand in hand with college, but you have to be very careful when you, and not to overspend when you're doing this type of things. So budgeting is very, very important. Investing in a planner, scheduling, talking, communicating, and just not being afraid to ask questions. Those are pretty much my only tips. I would say college is definitely a different experience. It's very, very different, and you definitely learn a lot about yourself as well as your capabilities. I thoroughly, even though I really do not like school, I thoroughly enjoyed my stint in college, and I think I did learn a lot, not only about the field that I'm interested in, but about myself as a person and about other people. Now in regards to me, what I'm doing after college and what I plan to do, like I said, I have my degree in business for human resources. So currently what I've been doing is applying for jobs, which is something that you definitely need to be doing when you are in school. Applying for jobs and applying for internships. Internships are extremely important. I did not do an internship, and I didn't even look into doing an internship, to be honest. I just was thinking about finishing my classes, and I didn't even think to do an internship. Even though I knew how important it was to me and gaining that experience, I didn't do it. And that's something I definitely want to put, if I don't say anything else, definitely look into getting internships or looking to network with people who are in the industry or in the field that you're interested in, because that's very, very vital in regards to helping you be successful and get a job. You definitely need connections, and you definitely need to see people who see the same thing that you see and have the same interests that you have. But I've been applying for jobs, and I've actually been applying to internships because they do have some postgraduate internships that you can do. So that's what I've been basically doing, and I can be honest and say that I was discouraged because some of the companies I contacted, I didn't hear anything back, or it was just not at this time. And that could be a little bit discouraging because like I did all this stuff, I have my degree, hire me, I'm ready to work, but just know that it's a process and it takes time. So don't get too discouraged, it will happen. But currently I'm still doing my same regular job at Kmart, but definitely I do not plan on being there any longer than I need to be, especially with having this degree. So I've just been applying to jobs, and what I hopefully want to do is I really want to get in regards to the training side of HR. There's multiple sides of HR, but I really want to get into the training side of it because I really love training and things like, not training, but it's like when new employees come in, you know how you train them and things like that. That's what I really want to get into. Either that, or I also wouldn't mind getting into the getting to the payroll side of HR. But currently I'm just applying for jobs and just hoping for the best. Just stay positive and just know that you have to, in college you're just going to really learn who you are as a person, and it's going to be a very, very, very hard roller coaster, a new journey, but it's going to be something that you're just going to totally love. And I definitely would recommend anyone going to college, because it is definitely vital in today's society. Having education or having a piece of paper saying you're not dumb is very important to people, or very important to your role in society and where you can potentially be placed. So definitely look into going to school. Like I said, I was one of those people who I was like, I don't want to go to college, and I got to college, I liked it. Even though I hated school, I liked it, and I completed it, and I'm finished, and I can now say that I am a college graduate, and I have my degree up there actually. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to say. Just stay positive, ask questions, be open to people, get a planner, get a marker, and just be very cautious, because though college is a very fun place, it's also a very scary place, and it's a lot of stuff going on in school that could be very distracting and just could hurt you. So cut down the partying, which I never did partying ever anyway, so don't do too much partying and just stay focused and do your work, and you'll get through it fine. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions in particular that you guys would like me to answer, leave it down below and I'll definitely be able to get my thoughts out to you guys. But that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to say. Just be focused and you'll get through it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye guys.